Joe, have you broadcast your last game with Troy Aikman? How about that segue, huh? You like that?
That was natural.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah, I don't. I wish I knew the answer to that, and I could pass a lie detector test to tell you I don't know. I have no idea. Obviously he and I talk a lot. I know kind of where his head is, but I don't know how it's going to come out in the wash. So I don't know. I'd like to think no. Because it's a pretty, at least in my world, it's a pretty intense job, and you feel like there's a lot of pressure and whatever. And I know where he's going to go. He knows where I'm going to go, and it's a partnership that I think works. And anytime you break that up, whether it's him or me, I think it feels like splitting tens when you're playing blackjack. But I don't know if it happens that way, then I'll adjust and try to make whoever else is sitting next to me just as good.
What's the best part about working with friends? Because it makes a better product, right? And I don't exactly know why some of the times, but what's the best part for you? Because I know how close you and Troy are.
Because I think it's just that you can laugh in the face of high stakes, and when you're doing a Super Bowl for 100 million people, if you can joke around before the red light comes on, I think that relieves some of the pressure. And I think the other side of it is, fortunately, I've never worked with anybody that I didn't get along with. But if I did, I would be worried that any humor would be taken the wrong way. Then humor becomes kind of personal. So I feel like he and I are such good friends now that I can give him trouble on the air and vice versa. And we're doing it to make a better broadcast, and we're doing it to have a light moment, as opposed to I'm trying to embarrass that guy or he's trying to embarrass me. I just can't imagine what that would be like with that kind of an audience to not know that the person standing next to you's got your back. That just makes me sweat.
It's funny you mentioned the 100 million thing, because I was thinking about it. It's you, it's Nance, it's Michaels in terms of, it's not counting Olympics and international audience, but in terms of events broadcast to 100 million plus Americans, you're the only three people who know what that pressure is like. Is there like a therapy group, a support group, a group text? Like how
there
the hell
should be?
Honestly, like what is that pressure like? It has to exist.
Well, I'll say this. I'm glad that it's every 3 years and it's not every year. And while Troy and I have done a million games together, and this season in particular with Thursday Night Football and Sunday games and everything else that we do during the playoff games and all that, you always want to finish it off with the championship game, meaning not the NFC, but the overall championship. But it comes with a lot of added anxiety and stress. And I say all that, please understand that I wouldn't want to not do it. I love it. It's fun. But every 3 years, it gives you a little bit of a chance to not only, take a break once a championship game happens, but sit back and watch somebody else do it. Like I take stuff from people in my business, and I take a little bit from Nance and a little bit from Tirico and a little bit from Al, certainly, and try to incorporate some of that into my act. And, getting a chance to sit back and in the case of this year, I'm going to the game. My wife and I are going, and my daughter and her boyfriend. So I'm excited to just go and be a fan, watch the game, and drink some beer and be in the seats.
Oh, that's tremendous. Imagining you there watching that game with the family. That's lovely. Good seats? Do you know anybody?
I hope so. Yeah.
I had to buy them, and they better be good seats, because I feel like I worked the NFC Championship game for free after sending that check.
That's really interesting. We're broadcast dorks here. If you wouldn't mind, like, what did you pick up from Nance, Michaels, and Tirico?
I think with Nance, I could give seminars on this stuff. I feel like I did on your show before.
You did
on the play-by-play, yeah.
With regard to Nance, I think there's kind of an ease with which he does everything, and there's a memory there that it doesn't ever feel like he's straining to get to a moment that's already happened, and he's referencing that. Costas also was very good at that, just kind of, thinking back to something that happened in the mid-'80s or the mid-'90s and blending it into what we're watching here and now. I think Tirico's versatility and his ability to really get into the minutia. I texted him one time when I was watching him call a football game, and I said, it just pisses me off because I can tell you can do the yardage of a punt in your head, and I can't do that. Like if the ball snapped from the 23 on one side of the 50 and the guy catches it at the 37 on the other side of the 50, it would take me a day and a half to figure out how long that punt was. And I can tell that he can do it just by watching it, like my stat guy can. That's why I employ a stat guy. It's like, yeah, but I'll take your voice over. It's like you're going to trade one thing for another. And then with Al, I mean, I feel like he is at his best now. I don't think he's ever been better. And I feel like he's kind of given it a devil may care attitude. And, he's got such an authoritative voice that you just sit up and listen when he's doing a game. So trying to have a little bit more fun and trying to show more personality. I think, I try to do that, and I hear Al doing that a lot.
That's good stuff. There's a balance to that kind of thing, right? As you're talking about the devil may care attitude. I remember like the day before my first show with Dan McNeil here, I was so nervous, and a friend who'd been in the business said, "Tell you what, prepare as much as you can, and then show up." That was the entirety of his advice, Joe, and it was such good advice. It's like at some point you're prepared enough, and you just got to show up. I guess that's where Al is. You could get there.
Well, yeah, and that's where I try to get. I mean, I feel like if a gust of wind comes up and blows all of my prep out of the booth, my board, all my notes, everything that I've got written down, I should be able to do the game, and nobody should be able to tell that I don't have anything in front of me. And if I can do it that way, then I've done the prep. And I think you almost have to mentally feel like a big gust of wind came up and blew everything out of the booth, because if you've got your head down the whole time and you're just buried in your own notes, all those notes are based on games and situations and things that have already happened. Nobody's ever seen the game that you're watching. It's never happened before. So keep your head up, keep your eyes open, take in as much as you can. If you need to lean on some research, you can lean on it, but this you're in the present, and you've got to be able to live in that to I think do your best job.
What's the coolest part of a Super Bowl week? Like it must be different for you. Like for us, it'd be like, oh, we get to go to the commissioner's press conference, or we get to see the halftime act and talk to them. Like, what's something cool that you do get to do when you do a bowl?
Not going to the commissioner's press
right,
conference.
that is not what I would
say. Not being anywhere near Radio Row and hearing tales from the dark side of what that's like. There is no feeling in my life, at least my work life, like when the Super Bowl is over, and knowing that you've done a decent job, and knowing people are going to tear you apart and you stink and all that, and what a dumb comment and whatever, but knowing that you did a good job for 100 million people, which, as you said earlier, there's a small fraternity of people that can say that, and then being able to just relax and have a beer or have a tequila or something with my wife, with my coworkers, with Troy, with the people that I care about afterward. It's just like, it's the biggest exhale that I get to have in my life. With kids, you never exhale. With so many other things, you never just go, okay, that's over. I put that to bed. And when a Super Bowl comes and goes, it's a really good feeling.